Hello YouTube! Today we're gonna go through how to go from finishing your cut when you have barely any food all the way up to a deep bulk where you hate food gradually without getting fat. You're getting some fat, of course, that's inevitable, but it's to reduce it and just maximize how much gains you make and minimize how much fat you're getting. So the current setup that we start with is how I personally finish my cuts usually. Now, side note, obviously I'm a bigger guy. I move a lot more than the average person, even the gym goer. So even my finishing diet can be like 1600 calories, maybe a bit more. So it still might be a lot more than you need, in which case you might need to make some changes to this, maybe go like 4 meals instead of 5. I don't know, sack this off, have this for breakfast, and then just these 3, right? Could be a case. Either way, I'm dealing with what I'm doing. You can take of that as you will. So this is how I'll finish the cut. So I have like a bit of high protein. This is pudding, but like it's like quarter yogurt, whatever. Like just 2 cups of that, 400 grams. It's like 300 calories. Pretty good deal. Second meal, just protein bar, and again, I'll mention this in the cut video. It's like a ripe cheese, no fat, no carbs, 35 grams of protein. It's only available in Czech Republic, however, so if you're not there, tough shit. You can get something else. I forgot to mention this in the cut video, and I do actually introduce things like monsters, or like a monster, into around here, somewhere like here-ish, in this area, somewhere in between. It's just to, one, the obvious effects of caffeine and the taurine, so it keeps me... I mostly use it to kind of stay awake while I'm working, because sometimes it gets pretty boring and, I start falling asleep. So that's one, but also it fills out your stomach, makes you less hungry, right? So because of the carbon in there, it fills out your stomach. Just like you can do the same with Diet Coke, which sometimes I do. Not on a training day, it's just this. But on a non-training days, when I have actually less food than this even, I'm not going to get into that now, but like I might actually even have also a Diet Coke can or something just to fill out my stomach between meals. 0 calories, no problem. Don't fucking come at me with, oh my God, it's chemicals. I don't give a fuck, okay? It makes me less hungry and it doesn't get me fat. That's all I care about, okay? Same with the monster, same with the cow, fuck off. Anyway. And I forgot to mention in this cut video, all of these meals, it's always training days. My training and non-training days are different. Chances are yours won't be, because it's just too complicated for like the regular guy, regular person, whatever. So don't worry about that. But non-training days, it looks a bit different for me. So anyway, this is where we start, like 1800 calories, somewhere in that range. First change, when you're going from a cut to a bulk, the first change can be a bit bigger, okay? Because you're in a caloric deficit and you're trying to get into maintenance and or into a bulk. If you're just trying to get maintenance, maybe like half the changes I'm making, make them smaller to find out the maintenance if that's where you're staying. But if you're going into a bulk, the changes can be bigger because you actually need to find the surplus, right? Personally, I can make a big change in the beginning because I know exactly what my maintenance is. My maintenance is like 3,000 calories, maybe 3.2. If I'm finishing at 1800, I could technically add 1,000 calories overnight and be fine. But I do like to play it a bit more safe and don't do that. So first things first, at this point, I'm starving, right? I'm hungry all the time. I'm food focused. I'm fucking thinking and dreaming of food. So the one thing you play is volume as of now. So the first changes I'll be making is I'm bringing back the fruit into my pre-workout meal, probably 200 grams to start with. I'm bringing back the gnocchi into the dinner. I forgot to mention what it was, didn't I? Yeah, the protein pudding, those things. This is chicken and rice, like 50 grams, chicken and rice, 50 grams, and this is just beef, 200 grams of like lean beef with veg. So I'm bringing the fruit, 200 into the pre-workout meal. I'm bringing gnocchi, like 200 grams, into the dinner. And I'm probably introducing these as well. So back with the intra-workout shake, where I'm 25 grams of dextrin and 50 grams of EAAs to improve the training performance. So this is the first step. That alone adds me like, I don't know, 500, well, more like 400 calories-ish jump. So like gets me to like, let's call it 2.2K. I'm still very much in a deficit, but I'll also drop a lot of my expenditure because at that point, my feet are fucked. I'm tired all the time. I'm low on time. So I'll drop some of the cardio and the steps to supplement this. Once again, I won't be talking about the changes to the cardio and stuff, but they are happening in the background where I'm removing the cardio and the steps and so on. But I'll mention in the first one because I said there's going to be a big jump, but then only adding 400 calories. It's because the jump is from the expenditure. Okay. Now, change number 2, we start changing shit up. So I'm going to back up with the first meal, just like during it. What you'll notice is the change from a bulk to a cut and the cut to a bulk is exactly the fucking same, just in reverse. You make minor changes to the exact same meals that you eat, just in usually volume, usually just in a, fuck's sake, to the meals you normally eat. You just make the changes to the amounts and maybe adding something on top. You don't necessarily change the meals. I do change the one meal because of the oats, but that's it. So this becomes cottage cheese again, which adds me some calories from fats, right? Because at the end of a diet, I have almost no fats, which is not healthy. So we bring the fats in. That's another change because that's like 200 calories right now. So bring the fats back in. That's step number 2. Number 3, at this point, I'm increasing the volume in these because again, I'm still hungry. So, 50 grams of rice probably becomes like 80 again. And then this becomes like 250 instead of 200. Step 3, same shit again. This becomes hundreds instead of 80. And this stays at 250. And I'm probably increasing the fruit. So from 200, I'll go to 250 usually, or 300 even. Let's call it 300. So again, this is before training, after training. This is in the evening. Like we focus on these. These are like secondary. So all of the increases happen in here. That's step 3. Step 4, at this point, I can usually bring the oats back in. So what happens is this goes away, although I'm probably going to still drink it, let's be honest. This goes away. This goes into meal 1. This goes into meal 1. This stays as meal 2, right? That's that. The next change, there's also almond butter here again. Next change, I can start pimping things out. I'm probably going to increase this to 40 grams instead of 50. I'm going to start having some granola in these, probably 30 grams to begin with. So that's step 4. I'm up to at this point, I'm probably like 2.8 thousand calories, something like that. Next change, I'm bringing back pop chips because I fucking missed them. Once I'm around the 3K mark, I usually add or remove them. So this is where I'm bringing the pop chips. It's like 300 calories. So just that bag alone is the next step. The next one, I forgot what number it was. We're starting to pimp shit out. So at this point, I'm adding honey to the oats again. I'm probably having some rice cakes with this already. But maybe just 2 instead of 4. With like the Biscoff on it. Step after that, mind you, at this point, we're like 12 weeks, maybe more, probably more. This is probably like 4 months deep into the bulk already. Okay, so it's been time now. Next step, more rice cakes, more Biscoff / Nutella. With this, the 2 meals are done. I'm not touching them anymore. Then we're just focusing on these again. I'm going to add more rice. It's going to be 120 instead of 100. This becomes 300 instead of 250. The veg is long gone from this one. So that is, again, food volume. I don't need it. I have enough in these 2. And I might add the fruit. So it becomes 300 instead of 250. This lasts me about like a month usually. So like 5 months in, I'm going to start like going ham. So at this point, I've already pimped out these. The pop chips are there. I just kind of have to add volume at this point. So I might add the fruits, so like bananas into post-workout meal. I might go to 150 on the rice instead of 120. Might add a little bit of this, so I have like 50 instead of 40. And that's basically it. That brings me up to 4,000 calories just like that. Again, this is like 6, 7, 9 months process. It's not just like every week or so. But what you'll notice is, I'm making changes to how much of what I'm having. First you play the volume games because you're going to be hungry when you're finished dieting. You're just food focused. You're hungry all the time. The moment you start giving your body more food, it's going to start, oh shit, we've just been through a famine because all the fat is gone. We need to get it back because clearly this is going to happen again. This is life-threatening. So the body lies to you that way, and your brain. So you have to play the volume game to give it the food, to give it the feeling of satiation without adding too many calories. And then you can start pimping out the meals and stuff. Now, side note, this is unrelated to this. Well, it's related, but it's a different part of the video. I'm actually thinking this time around, when I'm doing the next bulk, whenever that is, because I'm still like midway through the cut, so I try not to think about it too much because I'll be too food focused and I'll make myself suffer unnecessarily. But usually, the first thing I get sick of when I'm bulking for a long time is this shit. Not the rice cakes and Biscoff. I do like that, obviously. But I do get sick of the protein puddings and the granola. It makes me want to shoot myself after a few months. So I think next time, again, in like fucking 4 or 5 months time when I'm eating this again, maybe more, as in maybe later, I think I'm going to sack off the protein stuff. I'm going to bring back this because it's basically the same protein for 125 grams instead of 400. So like quarter of the weight. And it tastes nicer, to be honest. I like it. I can eat this every day forever and I won't get sick of it. I'm losing some fats and carbs, obviously, because the granola is not there. So I'm probably going to have this instead. And then just more rice cakes, probably. Like this is my protein source. And then I have more rice cakes with more Biscoff and Nutella. But you can only go, well, I personally can only go so much. If I go more than like 50 grams of spreads total, I actually start to feel it in terms of digestion as well, but you just kind of feel like shit when you eat too much sugar, and my teeth get fucked. Like they don't get damaged, but like you can kind of, when you finish eating, you can feel it like stick into the teeth, and it's just unpleasant, and it almost hurts. So 50 grams total, and that's it. So that's like 5-6 rice cakes basically with spreads. I might just pop some fruit on top of it again. Like the end of the bulk gets fucking expensive, let's be honest. Those are quite expensive. So when you remove them, you kind of save up. But like the oats are cheap, protein powder's cheap, but like this kind of shit becomes a bit, costly, especially the fruit, especially if you're going fresh. So I might just pop some extra fruit in this one instead. I don't know. I'm going to have to experiment with it because this is the Czech Republic version. When I was in UK, this was the same. That was the same. Instead of this, I was having like bagels with like chicken slices and stuff, but there's no bagels in this country. And also like, I don't need it that much. So it's kind of like just that. So I'm just going to stick with this instead. And also I think I wasn't having oats last time because where I was buying the stuff, it was grim. Like both the oats and almond butter just tasted like shit. So I just didn't eat it. I just replaced it with the bagels. But yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking in the next bulk. But again, it's like 5 months, 6 months from now. So I'll update you in the next video where I'm actually doing that. But yeah, that's the process from, I might still have Monster here somewhere, but that's just for the sake of it because I like the taste. That's not even going to be for the food anymore. As in like food volume. So that's how that works from deep cut to deep bulk, from let's call it 1700 to 4000 calories. That's how I do it. That's how you can replicate it yourself. And yeah, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to see anything else of this sort, like, I don't know, how to go from this and there, how to make what kind of changes exactly, exact grams, whatever, let me know in the comments, and I shall see you in the next one.